Welcome everyone. Denny Grimes, the master of real estate. I've got my faithful on, and I'm welcoming the people in the Facebook Live world and those here that are with us online. We do this every Tuesday, 1 o'clock and 1 to 2 p.m. And I'm going to encourage you, if you're new to this group, I want you to go to the YouTube channel and please subscribe. I haven't checked this lately. What we're attempting to do is to get over 300. You might be the lucky winner who gets to the 300th, and we'll give you a special prize for that. Maybe a coffee mug or something, who knows? So go to Denny Grimes, the master of real estate, and subscribe. I've got a year's worth of information, role play, videos, my TV spots I do every 2 weeks. It's a wealth of information. There's some downloads that you can have also that we talk about here inside this class. So my goal is to help every one of you get better at mastery role play. And so if you want to mark it on your calendars, every Tuesday, 1 to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with the exception, so please make note of this. I'm going to be on a conference next week. I may find someone to fill in, and if I don't, then what we'll do is we'll just probably not have it this next Tuesday. However, keep it in your calendar. I will let you guys know, and we'll send you out an email if it changes, okay? So I always have a thought of the day. And so what I have discovered, and of course, we're role playing many different things from a team standpoint. We kind of rotated around. I did, like I said, I just did a role play for the Good Life team, which is Ryan Lowry. He's in several market centers, does a lot of business. And what they wanted to work on was basically a seller or for sale by owner. So, which I call a seller that's unassisted. Now, if you've not heard this before, or you forgot what I said, what's interesting is I'm even morphing the name of the class when I talk about question-based, listening enhanced, conversational scripts. I'm kind of morphing it and just calling it question-based, listening enhanced conversations. And what's awesome about this, you guys, when you just have conversations with people, there's not a lot of pressure. And I know I've done it a long time. I got to the point where you're comfortable, just like you driving to work, you're comfortable. Driving to the kids' school, you're comfortable. You can get there very quickly if you're consistent about this, right? So again, you might need, quote, a script or an opening line. I was talking to my Sonny, who's my co-host today and a director of growth. Part of her role is to recruit agents. And so she does lead generation, looking for agents that are looking to better their career, could be candidates for our team, right? And she even said today, it's like that first 15 seconds. So that's kind of a script. However, you know, if you've got to get out of the gate really strong, make sure that, write this down, you guys, if you can write, make sure you have a compelling, well-rehearsed opening sentence. And once you get by that, you'll get more into a conversation. If you can say, hello, I'm Denny Grimes, Keller Williams, Naples. I'm calling because we've got many buyers that want to live in your area, and I'm curious, who do you know that would love to take advantage of the great market? Whatever the speech is, you can deliver it without hemming and hawing, because that suggests you know what you're talking about. So number one, be able to have the strong first sentence. Number two, make sure you have a well-rehearsed story, one for a seller, one for a buyer, one for a seller that wanted to sell it by themselves. You know, right? So, you know, we talk about this. We had a seller just 2 weeks ago. A seller was unassisted. They were going to sell it. I know in Fort Myers, we're relatively affordable. I know maybe where you are, your prices are different. They wanted to sell it for $225. And it's a good thing we met with them, because we were able to sell it for $269,000. So what the difference was, almost $40,000 or over $40,000 the seller was able to put in their pocket. Now, do you think they're happy with that? The fact they listed with us as a professional? Yes. So whatever the story is, have one for a buyer. Well, I had a buyer that wanted to basically go unassisted, wanted to work with a listing agent only. And this is what happened. So have a successful story, have an unsuccessful story, be able to deliver the story that takes you away from having to preach at them and sell. So a lot of people right now seem to be dealing with, there's inventory out there, and it's a for sale by owner. So I am just training my team. I'm training myself. I don't use for sale by owner. I use the term unassisted seller. Now, what's interesting about that is that they may not say anything. However, I believe if you said FSBO, that's vernacular. So they may or may not quite get it. I would think the majority of people might know what that is. If you said for sale by owner, okay. However, the words we say are important. So I just believe in saying, hey, unassisted seller. So I'm just going to ask you, let's have a conversation there before we get into doing some practice. Do you think that because that is not said all the time, do you think even those words right there, 2 words, might cause them a nanosecond of thought? A nanosecond, well, what do you mean unassisted? Do you think that might be beneficial versus saying for sale by owner? What are your thoughts on that? Come on, talk. You can come off mute. Moses, you might as well lead us off. You're not shy.
Well, it changes the perspective of how you look at that sales situation.
Okay, awesome. So Kaylee, expand on that.
Well, I feel like
how might the seller hear that?
I feel like when you say you're for sale by owner, there's no look into the negative parts of that. And by saying that unassisted, you're creating awareness around their lack of assistance. Okay.
Any other comments on that? It's a very, very small tweak, an easy one. Remember, we're not like Secretariat where we win by 36 lengths. It's the little things you start to do, because I want each of you to be a great listing agent. Remember, the definition of a great listing agent is you can maximize the return of the seller's equity in the time that the seller has available. Maximize the return of the seller's equity in the time they have available. So therefore, that's the definition of a great listing agent. And a great listing agent is always free to a seller. I just take that as an axiom. I just take that as my mindset. And so can you then work around and articulate, because they're worried about saving 5%, 6% or whatever. Can you work around that to let them know what kind of value proposition that you have? So raise your hand if you want to talk about anything, or just come off mute as we go forward. I don't want this to be just a sermonette. So again, I'm going to probably change this. Question-based, listing enhanced, conversational, or I'll just call it conversations. I may drop the word scripts. And we do that by asking strategic questions, right? We ask the right question. We ask questions that make them think. And what's neat is we always follow a very simple model. If you haven't taken a picture of this or written it down, as we go through these today, we always go back to this model. This is the roadmap. Acknowledge, isolate. Isolate is basically other than that. And you stay there till you feel like you've got it kind of all on the table. Then you kind of answer it and then close. That's the model. And kind of the picture is, how do you get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop? So moving forward, we already know, we've already talked about, we've already talked about this, you guys. Come on, stop that. The mindset we're in, we're not in a seller's market, we're in a winter's market. So I'm going to do the first role play here that I have, and we can take some requests from the crowd. Here we go. Is a potential buyer. And the scenario is they're out looking for homes. They've seen some, they're not 100% happy with what they've seen because inventory is down. And so I'm looking for a volunteer that would be the buyer. And I want a volunteer to be the agent, to do a 5-minute role play here with asking questions, or just do it the way you would handle it. And then we'll kind of examine that. Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer to be the agent right now? This isn't a hard one. However, in real life, you may get this today. So if you step up and do it, you're going to be stretching yourself. It may help you with this in real life. So who wants to be the first person that wants to grow and be the first agent on this first little role play we're going to do? You want me to call on somebody? Is that you, Moses, that raised your hand?
Sure. What did you need, Denny?
You're going to be the agent.
Okay.
All right. And who would like to be the buyer? This is your scenario. You're working with Moses. He's your agent. And this is what you say. How do you know a better home won't come along? So this is real life scenario. I've had this, you've had that. If you haven't had it, I promise you, you will have it one day. What if a better home comes along? There's no right or wrong. However, let's just spend a few minutes role playing this. Who's going to be my huckleberry? Who's going to be the buyer in this scenario? Moses, if no one raises their hand, you get to pick someone because you were brave.
Okay, all I can see is the Hammer Meister.
Yeah, she's on my team. She is, girl, do you have it on gallery view? You should probably, you should probably have it on speaker view because then you can see my slides.
It's Microsoft. Let me see, hang on.
That's okay, Sonny can do it. Sonny can do it.
Okay, gallery view, got it.
So Sonny, you are the buyer, right? And you are saying, hey, look, how do I know a better one won't come along? So let me just set my little timer here for about 5 minutes. Let's just do it the way you might do it. Then we'll kind of dissect it a little bit. Y'all ready? Go. Sonny?
So how do I know a better home won't come along?
Well, Sonny, it's entirely up to you on what you determine is best for your needs, you know, in your highest and best use. There's always going to be another property. For example, it's a seller's market. So a lot of buyers want the same property as you. You have to consider how bad you want this property to determine what you want to offer and whether you're going to have something or not.
I mean,
What would you like me to do?
I get that. I just feel like, I don't know, there could be something else out there that, I mean, you've shown me 3 properties and each one keeps getting better.
Okay, so would you like to wait?
I don't know. What do you think I should do?
I think that I've showed a lot of properties and a lot of people missed out on a lot of money and they don't have properties. So now they're in other debt and they can't buy a home. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to feel the success of, you know, that strain, you know, because success is only staying on track. Do you want to be on track? Do you want this home? I'm here for you. I'll get it for you, but you have to want it more than me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to own a home.
Okay, so do you want this one more than me? Because I want it. I'm ready to go and fill out the paperwork and, you know, with the best number I can find.
So if I put in a contract and something does come on better, am I able to get out of this one?
I believe I'm not allowed to remove any contingencies. So the standard amount of contingencies is about 17 days. So that's how long you're going to have to determine whether or not you want the property. And for those 17 days, you can back out. After that, you're locked in. So do you want to hold this property so we can investigate it and make sure, see if you even want it?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll write up that offer, talk to the agent, and make sure that you are in first, the best of my ability.
Awesome.
All right, that was 2.5 minutes, pretty fast. I'm going to stop this right now. And so let's dissect it a little bit. So nice job, Moses. Very quick. Sunday, typically, because she leads our role play, she's generally not that nice. I think she's treating you nice because you're a company. I'm not really sure. However, so Moses, how did you feel you did?
I felt average because I'm learning every day that inside my stress, it's only that I'm staying on track. And I spoke with a buyer yesterday who has his brother backing him. You know, they want 2 properties back to back. You know, I showed him several properties and now there's stuff starting to generate in San Francisco. Of course, people in the area in San Francisco, some areas are getting really bad, but the prices are at about $700 in San Francisco for lofts with fireplaces, which is really incredible deals. And now this guy's just in a position where he's indebted somewhere else. So it's kind of slowing him down, you know, versus he could have had a property. He might've made all that equity. You know, he'd have his credit line, you know, his house, he could rent part of it, whatever it is, you know, he'd have something.
Okay. Would you think there's, based on this role play, where could you have improved?
Well, I could have, I always have trouble doing the improv too, and calibrating your acknowledge, isolate, address, and close. I'm having, I put the two together once, I think, in my entire career.
Okay.
Successfully. Yeah.
That's all right. Well, you got to say that's fine. All right. So now this is the opportunity for anyone else on the call, because this is where we learn. This is not about judgment. This is like things you heard that maybe you'd have done different. Or does anyone have any comment or input into the way that role play went? This is without judgment. This is how we grow. And then I'll close the conversation and we'll go to the next example. Anybody?
Denny,
Yeah.
I'm driving for about 10 more minutes, but the only thing I think kind of isolate why I haven't found the perfect home yet, kind of dig down and find out what's still missing. Just a few more questions.
Okay, I get it. Great input. Thank you, Reagan. What else? And anybody have any other input?
I believe he should ask for motivation on the scale to 0 to 10. How much does he want that particular house? So you can find the motivation.
Okay, excellent.
And,
all right, good. Keep going.
And when you visit houses, maybe he mentioned 3, the buyer can mention on each house how much he likes it in the scale of 0 through 10, so he can kind of leverage what are the requirements of the buyer.
Great, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Is that Lydia? I can't really read the name.
It's Liliana.
Thank you. Yes. Any more really quick?
Yeah, Denny, I think I would have reiterated some of the pluses, whether it had been the school district, the neighborhood, the closest to work, some of the pluses in that house that they had went through. Just finding, how strong of a value it really was compared to the other ones they had looked at.
All right, then thank you, Al. Now let me ask you this. If you were looking at that, now this is what we're going to see. Is there anything lingering in your mind? Any question that you would have asked, or do you have this? Is there any piece of this where you lack clarity on this buyer's motivation? Is there any pieces missing for you to really know what's going through their mind? Because when we go into the conversations, I'm giving you permission to ask questions where there's not clarity. A lot of agents are afraid to ask questions because they feel like that would be redundant, or they're showing the customer they don't really know what they're talking about. Are there any holes in your level of understanding? We just had somebody say, well, on a 1 to 10, which I love that. Is there any questions that before I go, and I'll put a little bow in this, I'll just give it 5 seconds or so if you want to speak up on this. So going back to that, how do you know a better one won't come along? So I might say, okay, going back to the model, and here Moses even said he's attempting to learn the model. So other than you being worried that this one might not be the one, is there any other reason why you wouldn't move forward on this house today? That's the isolating question. Now you could ask that, right? So maybe there's something else. And so Sonny, I'm going to go to you, get back into the role play. I just asked you that question. You're muted.
Sorry, say that again, Denny.
Is there, other than the fact you are concerned, there might be something better out there, is there any other reason that would keep you from moving forward in this house today?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. So, all right, so maybe we're at the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop. Maybe. She said that's the only reason. So let's say we look at another house and you like it. would you have the same concern?
Probably, yes.
Now you're thinking logically. What is a possibility that she may have that concern no matter how many times, how many homes she looks at? So Sunny, doesn't the possibility always exist that when you see a home you like, there might be a better one out there?
Yes.
Well, how are you ever going to be comfortable moving forward then? Because there always could be a better one out there.
I mean, maybe when I walk in, I'll just know it's the one.
Okay. And so possibly, and how would you know that?
I would just get that feeling.
Okay. So are you looking for a feeling?
Maybe. I mean, it's just that every house that I've seen is better than the last one. So I just keep thinking there's probably another one out there that is better than this one.
Okay, so let's just assume now, all right, you know, the inventory's tight because we already asked the question. It is a, you know, here's where you're going to use a seller's market, not winner's market. You know, it's a seller's market out there. So what if there was only one more home in your price range that we have to see, and we were to go to look at it and you realize you don't like that one as much as this one? How would you feel?
Well, I would want to make sure that I could get this one then.
Well, what if by the time we go out and see the other one, and then you see, well, hey, this is nothing. I mean, based on what's available right now, the one we're in right now is the best one on the market. What if then during that 4-hour or 8-hour period, somebody buys this house? Now this one's gone. Which home would be your second choice?
There aren't any second choices now.
Well, if there are only 4 homes for sale and this one is the best of the 4, and it sells because you want to look and because of selling fast, you would either have to select one of the 3 that are remaining or wait for something else to come on the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how would that make you feel?
Probably scared that I wouldn't be able to get even this house then.
Right. Well, let's say this one's gone, then you'd have to decide what's the second home. Are you willing to take that chance? Or do you feel like this home meets enough of your needs that, you know what, you could be happy here?
I could be happy here if there was nothing else that I could choose.
Well, by waiting, we don't know. I mean, maybe next week another home comes on the market that you like better. And so maybe not, or next week or 2 weeks or a month from now, because this home sells. This is a greater pain question. Write that down. Which is the greater pain? I mean, there's going to be a little uncertainty, always asking, well, what if there's a better home? However, if you wait, this home sells. What if there's not a better home? And you always are going to have to remember you could have lived here. And then the next house you buy has less of what you want than this house. How will that make you feel? You see what I'm attempting to, in her mind, think about this logically. The downside, the pain of her not moving forward. Now, again, is it possible while they go look at another house or whatever, that there isn't a better house out there? And if you're really close with someone, you want kind of a wild analogy. You've heard this before. So you'd have to be careful how you would use it. However, isn't this the same thing? So, Sunny, are you married?
Yes.
Awesome. So how did you know he was the one?
I just knew.
Now, wasn't there a possibility there could have been somebody else better out there?
No.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I knew the second I met that man.
Okay. Got that. Well, give it time. No.
That's funny because that is exactly the script I was thinking in my head, but I'm driving, so I didn't say it.
Well, listen, if you don't want to ask that question, look, you know, when my wife and I got married, it's like, you know, theoretically, you know, when I met her, I thought, well, this is it. However, I think in her mind, she was wondering, is there a better opportunity out there? However, she took a chance on me. I figured I may be the best choice of what's available, right? Anyway, what did you get out of what I just did? Did you sense any difference in what I did, you guys? Moses, what did you hear that was a little bit different?
Are you still referring to the marriage?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of the objection, the way I handled it, not the marriage thing.
Oh, I think you handled it with more reason than me, which is, you know, much better. And you went much deeper.
Kaylee, I got your question here. Should we tell about how it's a great financial decision in the market? So even if she's not in love with it, she's gaining equity. Okay, so let
I feel
me.
like yes, in that situation, because my personality in that particular role play, I think it would be the wrong personality to talk to about the financial decision, because I'm emotionally telling you something.
You talking about the marriage thing or what I just said?
No, because I had said I would just know it's a feeling I would have, and if somebody's talking about their feelings, they're probably not interested in the financial part of it.
Well, if there was and here's I guess, and yes, you're right about that. Yeah, but you notice you say, should we tell her about the great financial decision it is? Now, again, the thing that I would have you work on is not use the word tell. However, if she finds a house in the next week and the market doesn't change, is that still true? So I'm not really sure that would be a major lever. What I attempted to do is say, you could be right. However, if that house is a week away and actually it doesn't show up and then this one sells, how will you feel? I took the house away from her. Now, again, more than one way to skin a cat. However, that's the way you follow the model. So let's go to the second one. Again, I've got a couple buyer, a couple seller. So let me go to a seller one next. Here is a seller objection. So I need an agent that would like to handle this. And you guys, you can pick the agent, and then, I mean, you'll be the agent, then you can pick the potential seller. We're not sure the timing is right. So you're sitting at the kitchen table, having a meeting, and the seller says, we're not sure the timing's right to list the home. All right, so who wants to be an awesome seller listing agent here and handle this for a 3-minute role play? Wow, we got some experience on here. Do not be shy. This is about growth. The safe environment. You want me to call on someone? I'm going to go to Rick. Rick, can you talk? Rick Henderson.
Lynn already said she would too.
Rick, are you good?
Yeah, I just pulled in my driveway. I was driving.
Got it. So will you be the agent here on this when the seller says we're not sure the timing is right?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Awesome.
Let me get my mindset going here. All right.
That's good. And so I don't know if you're on your phone, you can see the people on here. If you can't, we can pick someone to be the seller. Can you see, or we'll just have somebody volunteer for the role?
Just have somebody volunteer, be fine.
Okay, who wants to be the seller? This is the easy part. Rick is doing the heavy lifting.
I can be the seller.
All right. Is that Mar Torres?
Mari.
All right, you are the seller, and you say to Rick, who's the listing agent, we're not sure the timing is right. Rick, go. I'll start the timer.
Well, I can understand your concern. So let me ask you this.
I'm going out.
You know,
I'm going out. Okay.
I got some feedback. I didn't know where that was coming from. Well, let me ask you this. So you're trying to, other than the timing, is there anything else that would keep you from acting on this purchase today?
No, I'm just wonder this is the best time to sell. Other than that, I mean, we can move forward.
Okay, so on the so as far as the timing, is there something specific about the timing that's important to you?
Yes, because we know the market has been going up. And what about if the prices keep going up and we can make more money if we sell it in a year?
Well, you know, that's a great point. But I really have no way of knowing that. And there's really I have no way of predicting that. One thing I am really good at is predicting the past. And if anything else, this, you know, the timing, you know, last March, we learned a lot about timing when the pandemic hit. And so at very best, the timing is going to be fairly unpredictable. Would you agree?
Yes, makes sense.
So let me ask you this. You know, I could kick let me just give you this story that happened to me. I could kick myself for not buying Apple stock in 1995 because I was waiting for the timing. You think I made a good decision on that?
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah. I kicked myself. Yeah. You know, so you know, I don't have a way to predict the future, but I do know this. Which would you prefer? You know, it's selling one day too late or one day too early?
One day too early.
So let's go ahead and get your house ready and let's get it on the market and get busy.
Okay, we can do that, but if anything changes, I could always cancel, right?
Well, you know, I'm going to do all I can so that you don't have to worry about canceling, and that you're going to walk away with the best, you know, highest amount of equity as possible in this market. And like I said, I don't know what that's going to look like. I can't make guarantees, but
that's time. That's 3 minutes, Rick. Nice job. Nice job. All right, you're right there on the cusp. I believe you're going to get the appointment. So, Rick, thanks for coming in cold turkey. And so, how did you feel? What do you think you did well?
Well, I felt like I honed in on the issue of the timing and isolated that.
Yes, you did. You did a great job isolation. You did follow the model. Nice job. What else?
From one of the previous sessions, I remembered about telling a story.
Yeah.
And so my Apple stock story.
All right. Have you told that story before?
Have I told that story before?
Yes.
No.
So here's the point, you guys. When I say have a story, he remembered it. And I wrote it down here. When you told the story, I'm a little bit confused. You said, well, when I bought Apple stock, I wish I'd have bought Apple stock in 90, whatever you said. And am I sorry now? I'm thinking, okay, I don't know. I don't know what Apple stock was in 90, right? So the reason I want you to have the story, you will eventually have it honed where it's very effective. Yeah. So, for example, what about Apple stock? Well, I don't even know what point you're trying to make. So what was Apple stock when you were looking at it?
Was it less than $100?
And so what happened to it?
It went up astronomically.
So with that story, you're saying you bought it and you should have waited. Are you not, with that story, talking about the seller saying, well, your house is here like Apple stock, and by waiting it went up? What message are you sending the seller?
No, because I waited, I didn't realize the gain. And so the gain where she was at right now. So I understand where you're going with that. So the realizing the gain at the top of the market, the greatest market of all time, That's definitely, if I had Apple stock now, I would be selling it now.
Just my blink on it is, I think that story, the way you told it, would be awesome for a buyer who thinks that they by waiting they're going to get a better deal. Well, hey, look, I wish I had Apple because it was 100 and it went to 800. And
right.
So on a seller who's thinking about waiting, an example where the market, maybe they attempted to wait too long and the market eroded under them. So only just feedback on your story. So
gotcha.
By having your story honed, you just make it better.
Right.
Anything else on your comments on that, or any comments from anybody else on that? What did you hear that maybe you liked, or that you maybe would have done differently? My blink is good job on the model. Awesome. I wrote down here best time to sell. When I hear a nebulous statement, okay, well, I would say, well, what is the best time to sell? How do you define the best time to sell? I would get some clarity around that, right? And she said, what if the market keeps going up? My mind went to, okay, well, you could. What are you going to do when you sell? Now, if you know what their next move is, like, for example, if they're going to be buying, they wait, the market's going to go up where they're selling. If the market's going up where they're buying, how do they win in that market? So it's just kind of like, if you know where they're going in their next move, make sure you understand it, because you can leverage that. And my last point was, way to use the story is a great job. I didn't understand it. So you might want to put some details in there so people understand. So
yeah, absolutely.
Great job following the model. Remember, the model is acknowledge, isolate. He did it several times. Address and then close. So good job. So next one, we have time. I'm gonna stop the clock. We're gonna do another one here real quick. Anything in the chat? No, you can put it in the chat if you have any questions or feedback. Let me go to the next one. This is a potential buyer. So they're coming in looking at property and they say, yeah, I'll let you help me. However, I don't want to sign anything, meaning I'm not going to sign a loyalty agreement. I'll let you help me. However, I'm not going to sign a loyalty agreement. Who would love to be the agent on this? You guys, if you can, get on camera. Come on, guys. Get on camera. Rick, you want to pick someone? You want to make somebody's day? Can you see who's on? Denise.
You're muted, Rick.
Kayla, you want to do it?
I'm back.
Yeah. Pick somebody, Rick, if you can see.
Oh, let's go. Joanna.
Joanna, can you talk? Come on down. You're the lucky winner.
I'm here.
There you go. You are the agent.
Oh, okay.
I need a potential buyer. Can you come off on camera, Joanna?
Give me 1 second.
I can be the buyer.
Thank you. Thank you.
My
right.
signal is a little shaky.
Joanna, you are the agent, and I'll let you get your camera on. I'm going to get my timer ready. Does this sound like something you might hear from a buyer in your market, you guys? Yes or no?
Oh, you can't see. Mark.
Right, perfect.
You guys see?
Yeah, we see you. Great. All right, so here we go. The buyer says to you, yes, I'll let you help me. However, I don't want to sign anything. I don't want to sign a listing agreement or buyer loyalty agreement. Go.
Well, I totally understand why you would have a little apprehension about that. Is there a particular reason why you feel like that's something that you wouldn't want to do?
Well, I just had other agents showing me houses and no one asked me to sign anything. So I prefer, I feel safe if, you know, we can work together. I don't mind, but what I'm looking into is to find the perfect house. Are you able to help me with that?
Yes, I can definitely help you with that. One of my things that I provide for my clients is loyalty and expertise. As we all know, there are a million real estate agents out here. So that's one of the reasons that I do that, because in order for me to work for you, because I'm working for you, you have to hire me. So if you don't sign my loyalty agreement, let me know that you are a loyal buyer to me, it doesn't allow me to perform my job at the best level. And of course, I want to give you the best customer service that I possibly can. And I want to be secure in knowing that the time and effort that I'm giving to you is not going to go in vain and you're not just going to jump up and leave me.
Well, first of all, I want to see if we can work together and if you can show me some houses and see if we can work together. Then I will think about it.
Well, in order for me to actually begin the process of working with you, you would have to exclusively be my client. I promise you that I will definitely give you the customer experience that you desire. Is there something particular? Like, did you have a situation maybe with another agent or something like that that's making you a little sketchy about signing a loyalty agreement?
As I mentioned to you, I'm not ready to sign anything because I don't want to run into trouble. I want somebody to help me to find the perfect house.
Okay, okay. So what's the perfect house?
Well, that's a good question. Has to be in the downtown area, walking distance to schools and shopping.
Okay.
I'm a doctor, so I have an office not far, so I prefer to walk around. So I will have to be not far from my office. Has to have the backyard, a swimming pool, and the price range is close to $1 million.
30 seconds.
Okay, so Liliana, let me ask you this. If I can find you a perfect home today and schedule it for us to go out and see maybe this weekend, would you be open to that? Open to us going out this weekend and I can potentially show you at least 2 homes? And if I nail it, would you be okay with hiring me as your agent?
Yes, I will do that. But let's see the houses first and get together.
Okay, so let's meet. I respect that you want to meet and you want to make sure that I'm the agent for the job. So let me find you 2 houses today. We go out and see them this weekend. And if I nail it, you're going to sign my loyalty agreement to let me exclusively represent you, right?
That's
All right, time. You're making the appointment. Good job. All right, Joanna, nice job. All right, how'd you think you did?
It was good. Like, so I'm gonna be realistic with y'all. I'm gonna tell you, I probably would have been like, I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to come back and just nail the appointment. Like, I'm putting that in my head. So I transitioned it. I didn't want to be too pushy and make her feel like this was something that she had to do, because I definitely still want the business. So it is a loyalty agreement. I feel like they don't know me. So how about we set an appointment? You get to see my personality. I get to see what you're like as well. And then we get to go out and see a house and create a relationship where that person feels comfortable with doing that. So I felt good that I wasn't too pushy about it and I still was able to nail the appointment. Because I know once I get in front of them, I'll probably be able to go ahead and get them to sign that agreement.
And again, my screen is so far away. Is that lit? Leah, what is your name?
Liliana.
Liliana.
Liliana. Sorry, I can't see it that far. So how did you feel as the potential buyer?
I feel that at the beginning, she was telling me that I feel like she wanted me to sign prior to meet, and I will be reluctant to do that. So I heard and read a lot of stuff. I'm a new agent, never done any deals. So I'm going by books and scripts and things that I heard. Not to ask in the first things, try to build a relation, a rapport, and then probably in the second or third meeting, when they feel comfortable and you meet their needs, you can say, okay, here, this is what I need to do in order to proceed.
I got that. So you want to take your time, gradually, get their trust, et cetera. And in the meantime, they could be finding a house with another agent. Is that true?
It's very possible.
Any other feedback, you guys, from this role play?
I really like that, how she did, but the procuring cause, though, is a big deal, I think.
Kind of a legal term, right, Moses? I mean, that's kind of the legal side of it, procuring cause. You're referring to
Yeah,
that?
because she's working with a lot of people, so everyone's open to lawsuits, depending on if an agent has enough money to do that.
All right, good point. So here's my blink on this, you guys. Okay, from a model standpoint, again, did she follow the model? When you follow the model, Joanna would be, when she said, I don't want to sign anything, you would always find out, I understand. Well, is there any other reason why that you wouldn't want to move forward with me being your agent?
Mhm.
And so you want to get everything on the table. So you didn't go deep into that. Now, the cool thing about this class is that we teach, it's question-based, listening enhanced. She said, the buyer said twice, if not 3 times, twice for sure, one thing. What was it? There was a key word she said twice. And when they say it twice, it's important.
I picked up on one that she said that I just want to make sure we could work together.
All right. All right. She said that towards the end. Awesome. Or I mean, she did mention that more than one time. So I missed that one. Nice pickup. There was one other thing that I picked up on that I think can be a leverage mark. Perfect house. I want to find the perfect house. She said it twice, maybe 3 times. So, and here's what I want you to understand. When we have the conversation with buyers about working with us with a loyalty agreement, too many times the agent wants to talk in terms of the benefit, why you have to do it for us. What I want you to do is, what's the benefit to them? Now, she mentioned right off the bat, well, I've shown a couple of houses, and agents looking for the perfect house. Well, so let's go. Where are you still there? Yes, Liana. So you've already seen a couple of houses with a couple of different agents, right?
That's correct. I'm looking for the best realtor that I can work with.
Well, evidently they weren't showing you what you like, correct?
That's correct.
So you want, you just made a statement, you want to work with the best agent, right?
Yeah, that fits my wants and needs. Yes.
And how will you determine what the best agent is?
Well, I believe that doing a pre-consultation on and getting deep what are my needs are first, rather than start bringing me to see 20 houses and get tired of it because those are not fitting certain needs and wants. So having a pre-consultation and going deep with all my needs and wants and likes, they will kind of have a better idea what is the perfect house for me.
Okay. And do you think that us having this conversation right now and me asking you questions is a step in the right direction to demonstrate I'm attempting to understand where you are?
That's correct.
And you sense already, because of my curiosity and my interest in helping you find that perfect house. I never say that. However, they said it, so I'm using the word. So far, am I demonstrating to you the type of agent you want to work with?
Yes.
One more question. Let me ask you, do you think the agent that you want to work with would be telling you the truth?
That's a question mark.
Well,
because what I want from them is to educate me about the market and understand my needs.
right. And so here is the thing I want to let you know. Agents, you can work with as many agents as you want. However, until you come into a relationship with one agent, how many agents are working for you?
Well, that's the problem. How do I determine if which one is right for me if I couldn't find one up to now? And the one that I find and heard good results are the best one for me and my personality and my wants and needs. How do I find that?
Well, if you were to buy a car, and this is, you guys are putting this in the chat. If you were to buy a car, would you want to test drive it?
That's correct. Yes.
So I tell you what, so far we've got a pretty good relationship, right?
Yep.
So what if you were to test drive me? What length of time? What if we entered into an agreement? I'll let you set the time frame. And if you like what we're doing, you like the way I'm listening to your needs, and you're willing to extend it, what period of time would you feel comfortable as a test drive?
Maybe 3 weeks.
So if we were to have this agreement, our loyalty agreement, that I'm loyal to you and I'm listening to you and I'm going to work for you. Notice I didn't say that you're loyal to me for 3 weeks. And if you're not happy, you can rip it up. And if you are happy and we haven't found it, we'll just keep going. Would you do that?
Yes, I will.
Now, what's interesting is this. You know, you guys were going down that, remember when the role play that Joanna was doing, well, why don't you just show me a couple houses? And this is what Joanna was doing. Okay, well, we'll go test drive for the weekend or whatever. I could have said, and it would have been the wrong question, well, how about if we just go out today or this weekend? And would you hire me for a weekend? If you're happy, we'll keep going. I didn't say that. I said, how long would you be willing to test drive me? If I would have said a weekend, she gave me 3 weeks. You see, you don't want to put your time frame on it. You want them to put their time frame on it because they may give you a better deal than what you'll give yourself. And you know, I would have done it for a day if I needed to. And if you're happy, we'll have it another day. She gave me 3 weeks. Understand the benefits to them is that basically this is what's going on. Unless you have an agreement with someone, when the best homes come on the market, Liliana, I trust I'm saying that right. Who do you think I'm going to show? These agents are going to show their houses to the people that have already got the loyalty agreement with, or the people that do not have a loyalty agreement with?
I'm sure that the people that sign up with you, so they trust you and your work. Yeah.
Well, legally we have to. So this is why the agent you want to hire wants to be honest with you. Therefore, the only houses you see will be the houses nobody else wants.
Yeah.
So do you think that will help you find your perfect home? So you see, there's a lot of things. It's all about the benefit to them. Any thoughts on that, you guys? Any ahas? We got 5 minutes left. Let's go. This is people's choice. How would you like to spend the next 3 minutes? And then we'll have some ahas before we go. Help me out here.
So the journey that you picture me brought me to understand they give you more time than you expected, which is the great way, by asking questions and putting me in a situation to understand the fact that if I sign up with you, you will be loyal to me and you will find me the perfect house.
Right. I mean, we have an easy exit listing agreement. If our sellers aren't happy, they can cancel anytime. Why wouldn't you do that with a loyalty agreement? Say, listen, if you're unhappy at any time, you can rip it up. I'm only the only thing that I want to make sure of. If I'm not doing something to meet your needs, give me the opportunity to correct it. Like if I didn't cook your steak the way you wanted, I'll take it back to the kitchen and recook it until you're happy. Does that sound fair and reasonable? Right. There you go. So the other one I had up here, we might have time to do it if somebody wants to do this in the 3 or 4 minutes we have left. Is this? Let's do this one. Potential buyer. I'm using you because you're the listing agent and I want some of the commission back. I'm using you because you're the listing agent and I want some commission back. Who wants to go for that one? You might be muted, Joanna. Are you talking to me? Okay.
No, I was just reading it.
Is that Reagan?
I've never had this happen to me, so I'm curious to see how someone will handle this.
Has anyone had this?
I've not had this.
No, we don't.
I did, but I didn't know how to handle it.
All right. I think some markets you're seeing this, there's more and more buyers that are wanting to deal with a listing agent because they think they can get a better deal or their offer will have a better chance of coming through. So then Reagan, you can be that buyer, okay? And I'll be the agent. We'll do this really fast.
Okay.
So you just said, hey, look, I'm using you because you're listing agent. I want some of your commission back. Well, awesome. Is there any other reason why you're talking to me right now other than that, Reagan?
Well, I don't have my own agent because I wanted to make sure I could see everything out there. I wanted to find stuff as soon as possible and not wait for the agent to find me. So I figured when I found the perfect house and I was ready to buy it, whoever the listing agent was could just represent me too. And then it would save the seller's money. And I might be able to get a better price on the house that way.
All right. And so how much money, you say you would want some of the commission back. What is your expectation here? You want to get clarity, guys. How much money are you anticipating getting back?
Well, I'm just thinking I would get a better price on the property. So, you know, a little bit more negotiating power because the seller's not going to have to pay the whole commission.
Okay, so you're attempting to save something, right? So if there's a 3% fee for the listing agent and 3% fee for the buyer's agent, well, it's my listing that you have nothing to do with that. You being the buyer and there's a 3% fee to the buyer. How much better of a price are you thinking you're going to get?
Oh, probably 3%.
So you want me to work for free to help you buy this house?
Well, you're already working with the seller, so you're not working for free. You'll get paid.
Well, I'll get paid that if you buy it or not. So do I have any interest in having you buy it?
I'm a good buyer. I'm pre-approved.
So
It'll be easy.
There's no benefit to me.
Aren't you supposed to take all offers to your seller though?
Oh, I'm happy to do it. However, I'm not required to work for free. So let me ask you, do you want me to help you get this house or do you want me to work against you?
I'd love for you to help me. How much would it cost to hire you to help me?
Well, basically we're paying, we're co-broken to any agent that has a buyer, we're co-broken 2.5%. So
you can't do better than 2.5% since you've got the seller side? Can you do 1.5%?
So you're saying you're attempting you would do it if you could save 1%, right?
Sure, yeah.
So let me ask you this, then it's about you want to get the best buy possible for the home. It doesn't really matter if it comes out of my commission or not, right?
No.
So because I'm the listing agent and I'm in Florida, so we're transactional, we're not dual agency, and I don't know where you all are, and that's a whole different thing. Do you think because I'm working with both sides of this and I have inside knowledge that's coming in because I can see everything that's going on, can you see how that information may be advantageous to you in your attempt to win this auction?
Yes.
And could it be to your advantage of at least 1% or so? Because if it gets into highest and best, and with the seller's permission, I can tell you anything. And you know what? If you're working with somebody that can't tell you everything, and now you think, well, the offer's up to, listing price is $425 and there's the highest and best. You're thinking, okay, I really want this house because you've lost two others. Do I go $430? Do I go $440? is it, do you think it might be possible? Because I have that perspective, I can advise you properly on where you need to be and without violating any of the rules and regulations.
Yes, that would be helpful.
And if you get the house for maybe 1% or so less, because I have that vantage point, and again, totally working with the seller's permission, would what the seller pay me have anything, would it, if you got the house for that money less, would it matter what the seller's paying me?
No, not to me.
And by the way, I could have a buyer too, that's somebody else that's not asking for a discount. Would you like me to favor them over you?
Certainly not.
Anyway, I know it's kind of a very fine line between, you know, how you work in your state with the agency, et cetera. So we're right at the top of the hour. Thanks, Reagan. Put in some ahas, or tell me give me 3 things you learned today. This like keeps me going, you guys. What did you learn?
I know.
Moses.
I learned today that Denny Grimes is the best.
Wow, it's taking you long enough. No, thanks, Moses. Appreciate it. What
There's always more questions to be asked, because when you guys are doing the role playing, I really do learn so much more about how many different ways to really break it down.
Good.
How many different questions.
Yes. One more.
Practice your stories.
Yeah, practice your stories. Excellent. Al, you said something. We'll close with you.
Yeah, no, I like the way you handled the loyalty agreement objection.
It's interesting, guys. My last comment, I appreciate you being on. Watch your email to find out if a class is going to be next week. Last comment, I don't know how I got it. I started watching YouTube a lot, and somehow I got, you can watch anything on YouTube. This guy happens to be a butcher, and he's showing you how to make steaks and cut them, and I'm learning about porterhouse or T-bone, and I'm watching him handle the knife as he's a butcher. I've never seen a butcher work before. It is amazing. You can go from no knowledge to knowledge, and your knowledge grows, and I watch his skill level. Listen, stick with this. I watched my team grow. Many of you guys have been on this long enough. I'm starting to see you guys. It's maybe first nature. You don't have it totally perfected yet. However, it will come back to you in spades. So I share this class with your friends. It's free. I like doing it, and I appreciate you being on. So in the words of Hill Street Blues, be careful out there, guys. See you next week, most likely. Bye. Love you, mean it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denny.
Bye, everybody.